Human Rights Watch documented one GRAD attack on an area, a residential area in Petrovsky district that happened on the 12th of July. In around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, suddenly multiple GRAD rockets hit that area, killing at least 7 people in that area. We counted, we documented 19 places where rockets had hit on that day. And there are probably many more because they're in gardens, they're in forested areas, etc.
Там. Вот тут, там.
Спал ночью, потом просыпаюсь в 5 часов, начало 6-го. Начало взрыв, огонь.
We were not able to see any kind of possible military target in that area, and it's quite clear that this is a residential area. Everybody that we spoke to said that there had been no fighters, no weapons in that area. But perhaps more importantly, the weapon that was used, the GRAD rockets, really should not be used in these areas, even if there were fighters or weapons there, because there are 2 problems with these GRAD rockets. One, they're unguided, so you cannot target them precisely. There is a pretty big area where a rocket can land if you just shoot it off. Secondly, very often they're used in salvos. So the ones who use them, they shoot off up to 40 or maybe more at the same time. And that means that they're going to cover a big area at the same time. And when you use these kinds of weapons in populated areas, it's a really high risk for civilians to be injured and killed. And that's what we saw in the Petrovsky district, that civilians were being killed by these kinds of rockets.
Катя, ты, наверное, не в эту сторону.
Здрасте.
В эту, да.
Well, in many cases, it's difficult to establish who was shooting it, using these weapons. And both sides, both the Ukrainian army and the separatist forces, deny that they're using GRAD rockets in populated areas, but somebody is. In these cases, in 4 cases that we looked at in Donetsk, we were able to, by looking at the craters, looking at the direction from where the rockets were coming, from looking at the walls that were hit by these rockets, so if the rocket hits the western wall of a building, it's coming from the west. By doing that, we were able to establish where the attacks were coming from. And in 4 attacks, they were coming from areas under the control of the Ukrainian army. So in 4 of these attacks in Donetsk, which killed 16 civilians, we believe that the Ukrainian army was responsible for those attacks.
Юля!